Just waking up in the morning, gotta thank God.
So, first off, I want to address the elephant in the room. That is a good elephant in the room, not a bad one. Today is the 10th anniversary of my YouTube channel. I was going to work on a little animation, but it was kind of planned last minute. Just to spoiler it though, it was going to be something to celebrate Nintendo since it has a lot of anniversaries this year, with the Donkey Kong / Mario franchise happening in July, I think. That's going to be its 45th anniversary. Sonic the Hedgehog will also be having its 35th anniversary this year, and particularly, Sonic the Hedgehog is Sega, by the way. I know it's not Nintendo, it's Sega. But particularly with Nintendo, this month, on the 21st and 27th respectively, will be the 40th anniversary of The Legend of Zelda and 30th anniversary of Pocket Monsters. And of course, the Pocket Monsters anniversary is the day before the 28th, which is my birthday. So that's a lot of interesting stuff. I was going to do a little bit of a Pokemon X Zelda crossover animation because I thought that would be cool. But working on even one frame is way longer than I expected, so I kind of gave up on that. Well, or at least postponed it. I might continue it at some point. Probably not getting it done by the end of the month though. However, I wanted to talk about something else today. So, as you may have seen from my last video, Digimon, its localization is looking up. Sorry, hold on. It has the first good US dub ever, and one thing I did not know when I made my last video is that Digimon Ghost Game, which kind of ended like over a year ago now, is also getting an English dub at the same time as Digimon Beat Break. I'm sure the Digimon Ghost Game dub is good as well. It has one of the Digimon in Ghost Game and the dub is voiced by the person who voices the protagonist of Beat Break, Tomono, who also voiced Taichi in the English dub of Digimon Adventure 2020 specifically, which was not a very good dub in terms of faithfulness. But regardless, it was still better than anything previously, but I do not think it was a good dub. So Ghost Game and Beat Break got dubbed at around the same time. They're the first non-adventure dub in over 10 years. I wonder, I don't know if the rest of Cross Wars will be getting dubbed. I don't know if they're going to be catching up on that, or Universe Apply Monsters. Maybe they will, and hopefully they do, and hopefully it's actually a good dub, unlike they've ever done before, or the US has ever done before. Someone who used to dub Digimon is not in charge anymore. Even with like Crunchyroll or whoever dubbed Adventure 2020, and it was also a different company that dubbed Adventure Try and Kizuna and all of that. Those were not, I mean, those were a step up, but they were still not good. I mean, I don't like, I don't like changes in localization. I like things to be accurate, you know what I'm saying? So, but Ghost Game and Beat Break were great. And so I mentioned, or I think I mentioned that Digimon Adventure has an English dub in Asia, like another English dub in Asia. That might have actually come out before the United States dub, because that does happen with some anime. Like Ghost Stories actually had a dub, an English dub in Asia before in the US, and it was more faithful than the US dub that was kind of just the localizers joking around. I wasn't really a fan of it, which is kind of an unpopular opinion, especially with the impact that it had on anime localization of the future. I'm just not a fan of that. Um, but unfortunately, the Asian English dub of Ghost Stories is lost media, except for like 5 episodes. That's not even like the first 5. It's like almost close to the beginning, but it's a few episodes are found, and it's kind of low quality. But I'd still prefer it over the US dub. So I mentioned the Asian dubs of those because, well, Yokai Watch actually also has an Asian English dub for the first 2 films, although the second film, the Asian English dub of the second film is lost media right now. The first 25 episodes and the first film with their Asian dub are they're found. They are found. And as you can see, so since some of the Asian dub is lost media, but as you can see, since they got to the second film, this actually got further than the US dub did. Um, However, a lot of it is lost media. However, well, okay, so as you know, the Yokai Watch localization in the US and the game localization is not very good. It is, they changed all of the names, well, a lot of the names. I think they did probably change all of the names of the alive human characters. Um, and they changed a lot of the yokai names, probably most of them. And, well, I'm just not a fan of that. However, there have been, of course, there have been fan subs, and there was actually an official sub again in Asia of Shadowside and Yokai Watch Jam Gakuen Y. Those, however, might also be lost media. I went looking for them. I could not find, or at least I could not find an official source for them, even by methods of paying. Um, yeah, of course, I found some of them through piracy, but at that point, you might as well just go with fan subs. If, but I think the official subs probably are more common in that regard, because from what I have seen, because that's what the official subs are generally what I have seen on, the unofficial sites, rather than fan subs. So, but at that point, there's no really point in considering, well, there's no really point in the fact that it is an official subbed release if you cannot even find it legally anymore. That's what I'm trying to say. So, there have been mods for like the games. So, first of all, I want to, I was going to give an introduction as to what Yokai Watch even is. Yokai Watch is a media franchise that consists of manga, video games, and anime. The manga was actually the first piece of media, and then the first game came out, and then the anime released. And then some parts of the second game was actually based on the anime, and so on. Everything kind of takes inspiration from one another. So as I was saying, the first game, there are mods for the 3DS games. So by the way, the games were mostly on 3DS. There was 1, 2, 3, and 2 duologies of a spin-off series called Busters. And then there was also Sangakushi, which released only in Japan. A few mobile games as well. There's Puni Puni, which was my first gacha game, by the way. And then there's Sangakushi again. It's on mobile and 3DS. As far as I know, those are the only games before Yokai Watch 4, which released on Switch, and then Yokai Watch 4 Plus Plus with DLC released on Switch and PlayStation 4, but that's only in Japan. Although I do have the Japanese Switch copy of 4 Plus Plus. Yokai Watch 1 got remade for the Switch and mobile, and it might have been remade for PlayStation 4 as well. I'm not sure. And there was also Yokai Watch Jam Gakuen Y that is well, it was an anime, and then there was a game based off of that for the Switch and PlayStation 4. And Yokai Watch 4, by the way, itself is based on Yokai Watch Shadow Side, the anime. It is sort of set concurrently alongside it, but it's not the same story. So that's kind of the rundown of everything. So, and the manga I have not really gotten much into, but I always wanted to. Unfortunately, there's not much of a proper translation available. There's a few, just not much. So maybe if I can find Japanese copies, I'll try reading that for study purposes. But until then, I just wanted to talk about the current situation of Yokai Watch localization. So there have been mods to change some of the character names back to Japanese, specifically for Yokai Watch 1. There is a fan translation for 4 that unfortunately uses the English names. I don't know why they did that. Maybe they have an option to use the Japanese names as well with that mod. And I say that because there was also a mod for this game, apparently from what I have been told, Inazuma 11. I forgot which game it is. So I have been a fan of Yokai Watch since it released. That's over 10 years ago. What I have not really been into is Inazuma 11, which Yokai Watch is technically a spin-off of. But there was a recent Inazuma 11 game that released, and that has collaborations with Yokai Watch. And as you can see here, these characters from Yokai Watch, Kodama Fumika and Amano Keita, they have their their Japanese names shown. Although the English name of their location is shown rather than the Japanese name, which would be Sakura Town. So believe it or not, I was like, wait, is this official? I could not believe it. And I went to, by the way, this video is by 101 Leafy. Actually, it was a stream that I saw the archive of. And I want to show you I was not sure if this was official. So what I did is I went to ask Leafy himself, and here's what he said.
What's up, Hakure Kudomaru? I happened to archive one of your recent Inazuma streams for the Yokai Watch event and saw the Yokai Watch characters had their Japanese names in English. Is this official localization or just a mod? Well, watch the rest of the stream and you'll see that it's, an option in the game. Thanks for checking out my Inazuma content. It's an official option in the game to use the Japanese names for all characters. It's really, really cool. Level 5 has never done something like this before. I hope that explains it. I don't know how else to put it. You literally just toggle it in a menu. It's like the most badass thing they've ever done.
So yeah, level 5 localizers actually did something good for once. And I don't know. I mean, it's awesome. That's like the best thing the localizers have ever done. I think localization for Yokai Watch is looking up. Even if they decide to like continue on with the English names, if they leave up an option for the Japanese names, especially including the location, the Japanese names for the location, if they include that as well, that will be amazing. That is like Yokai Watch is saved. Yokai Watch localization is saved. I will be like, I will be so happy if that happens. Like, you guys do not understand. I have been a huge fan of Yokai Watch since it released. I got made fun of for liking it. Granted, back in the day, liking anime and all was, it was weird. People thought it was weird, right? But I liked it. I liked Yokai Watch. People thought that was just some stupid kiddie show. No, it is peak. It is peak. It is actually peak. It is one of the, I don't know. The games are peak, the anime's peak. Again, I haven't gotten much into the manga, but the manga looks awesome. And I recommend checking it out. I don't like the localization though, but the localization is looking up. I back a few years ago, I would have said, or before just a few days ago, when I found this out, I would have said I do not want Yokai Watch 4 to be localized because, or anything that has not been localized, I do not want it to be localized because level 5 localizers are going to screw it up. But I actually have hope now that they might not screw it up. And this is a big deal for me because I am like a classic, I am an OG fan of this franchise, not of Inazuma 11. I was never really much into Inazuma 11, but Yokai Watch is something that I've always been into. It is like it might actually be one of my favorite franchises ever. So that's kind of what I wanted to get into. The localization for this franchise is looking up, and I hope that level 5 localizers do some more good to localize the franchise and make it more faithful to the Japanese version. And a good way to do this, like I said, there was a port of Yokai Watch 1 to Nintendo Switch. If they relocalize, if they retranslate that, instead of hashing their old localization, and if they retranslate it to be more faithful to the Japanese version with character names and location names, like Yokai Watch localization is redeemed. Yokai Watch localization in the United States is redeemed. And the same thing happening with Yokai Watch and Digimon. That is, I'm just so happy. I am happy. Uh, hell, maybe Nintendo can do that with Pokemon. Or all of their franchises that the localizers have screwed up throughout the decades. Because they sure have done a lot. Nintendo franchises are sort of kind of, sorry, hang on. Nintendo franchises are sort of kind of the OGs in bad localization. From Mario to Pokemon, Zelda's fine. Kid Icarus is not fine. Kirby has some mistranslations. I think it's generally fine from what I remember. Uh, except for the anime, because 4Kids kind of screws everything up. But the anime might actually be more faithful, at least, than other things 4Kids has done. But you know, all of that. I hope that that gets changed to be more accurate to their original Japanese versions. I would love to see all of that. I would love to see these franchises finally get the faithful translations from the official companies, the faithful translations that they deserve. And with all of that said, I'm just happy. I'm just happy. Also, an update on my wife. Alright, sorry for the better mic quality jump scare. I need to remember to talk like this when I can. That's why the whole audio quality was off this whole time. That's why it was poor this whole time. I do not know why it sounded like I said wife just now. What I actually said was life, with an L. I just wanted to clarify that. I might actually, well, I had a job interview today and I feel good about it, so I'm especially happy today. Today was a good day.
I can't believe today was a good day.